I am going to try out this Costco Kirkland signature chicken tortilla soup. I say I'm gonna try out, but I'm not trying this out. This is the 4th year. I buy this every single fall season. Each Costco pack has 2 containers and there are 2 pounds in each container, 4 pounds in the entire pack. The chicken tortilla soup is made with white meat chicken and it's made without artificial flavoring. If you're interested in the nutrition facts, here it is, and also the ingredients of this soup. If you take a look, it's made with chicken stock, white meat chicken, and it's pretty good ingredients. So this is why it tastes really good, because they use the chicken stock instead of the actual water. It's the best, but I'm gonna cook it and show you guys how I do it in fall. Sometimes I put different vegetables, like in summer I put calabacita, I slice them in there, but in fall season, I actually put butternut squash. I know it's not the traditional chicken tortilla soup, but it goes really, really well. Okay, let's do it, babies. Costco pack comes with 2 containers of these, and each container is good enough for 2 servings, I believe. Usually I don't finish the whole container by myself because I add additional corn and additional vegetables, so it becomes very, very filling. Sometimes I even put additional black beans. Okay, so let's put it in. Gonna put in all of the chicken soup. It has quite a bit of chicken and solid, which is great because sometimes like the chicken tortilla soup that I get either from restaurant or from package, it's all just very soupy. I like my soup to be a little bit more dense, like with more solid. So this one is actually perfect to my preference. I know everyone has different preference, but this is just a soup by itself, and then I'm gonna add in a little bit more corn. So the corns are in, we're gonna put in butternut squash. My way of cooking is just to dump everything in there. Yeah. So the corn is not gonna affect the taste because even though the corn has a little bit salt in there, it's not pre-seasoned or whatever. So we can also put like some salted black beans in there, so it's not gonna affect the pre-seasoning. Look how good it is. I think it's pretty full by itself, so there's no room for black beans, but sometimes I do like to put some black beans in there just to add a little bit more protein. And sometimes I also get the rotisserie chicken from Costco, and then I will shred some rotisserie chicken in there, and that is great to add a little bit more protein as well. And at the end I will cut some avocados. So yeah, look how good it looks. Like now the tortilla soup, it's kind of becoming like tortilla flavored fall soup, butternut squash soup. I don't like the soup that are too sweet, so this is perfect. Okay, we're gonna close the lid and check in 15 minutes. In about 15 minutes, the soup will be kind of ready. It's boiling, but before you take it out, just make sure the butternut squash is in the perfect texture. By perfect texture, it's kind of soft and creamy, but not all the way melted in the soup, to create that really nice texture of the butternut squash. So we're gonna give it a little bit of stir and to cook it for additional 5 minutes. I like to cook it with the lid on so that the water from the soup doesn't really evaporate, but if you don't want it to be too soupy, you can also open the lid at this time. Because I added additional can of corn and additional butternut squash, the 1 container chicken tortilla soup from Kirkland Signature Costco brand is enough to 2 meals. So now I'm just gonna dish it out and cut some avocados on top to add a little bit more texture to make it perfection. It's ready. It looks so good. It looks so golden, perfect for fall season. This is how I do it in fall. But again, in summer, I don't put a butternut squash in there. I usually put the calabacita, the zucchini squash. But look how good! As you can see that the butternut squash is getting really soft. It kind of has this very nice texture, like
sweet potato texture, but it's not as like too mushy, and it adds a really nice sweet taste to the soup. It also makes the soup a little bit more dense because some of the butternut squash is gonna melt into the soup, and then also additional corn is gonna make the soup a little bit more sweet. So it's perfect for fall season if you are into that seasonal soup taste. Alternatively, for summer, sometimes I put zucchini. If you don't have access to the Galavasita Mexican squash or Mexican zucchini, you can just put the yellow squash. It doesn't taste quite the same in terms of the texture, but it's still pretty good. So make sure you slice the zucchini or Galavasita very, very, very thin. Put into the soup to add that very nice soft texture of the squash, and it's gonna add the texture and add more nutrients to the soup. And it's more refreshing for summer season. And also the squash contains water, so it's gonna make the soup a little bit more watery compared to butternut squash, which makes the soup a little bit more creamy.
Alright guys, the soup is ready. It's so good. Every single bite has a ton of texture and flavor. I just really like the soup base flavor, and I love to put extra corn in there, and because corn is a little bit sweet and butternut squash is a little bit sweet, it's perfect for fall. But if you don't like butternut squash, zucchini, Galavasita, all of these vegetables work really well. Hot, 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 hot. It's so good. It is so good. I like to put additional vegetables to make it less salty too, because it kind of dilutes the soup base by itself. The soup by itself is a little bit on the saltier side, but after you put in the extra vegetables, it's gonna dilute to the perfect saltiness. I love the creamy texture of butternut squash. If you put the Galavasita or the zucchini, make sure you slice them very, very thin so it will go really, really soft with the soup. Ooh, and the soup by itself, it also has some corn, carrots, a little bit tomatoes, and it's just so good. 10 out of 10. It's my favorite soup from Costco. And the soup will get soaked into the butternut squash to create nice flavor for fall season. Add avocado, make it taste even better and more nutritious.
To add more protein, I also sliced some hard-boiled eggs that I got from Costco. It's so easy. I just put it in there and soak them into the soup. I know it's not the traditional tortilla soup, but it adds more nutrients and it tastes really, really good. And the soup flavors the egg really nicely.
Cheers!